Hello, Claire Crotto here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I really wanted to talk about meal prep. Today I wanted to go over the basics of meal prep and how you can learn how to meal prep. Tips on how you can save time and money when you're meal prepping and making sure that you're meal prepping the right foods. If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I release new videos every Friday at 9 a.m. Alright, why to meal prep? There are a ton of reasons why meal prepping has gained so much popularity throughout the years. There are 3 reasons that I personally meal prep. One of them being my favorite, the amount of money that I save. It is insane how much money that you will save. Even just eating out once a week, if you can skip that when you have prepped food ready to go, you save so much money. It is insane. Second is the amount of time that you save, especially if you have a crazy schedule or work 2 jobs, it is going to be a lifesaver. When I was working 2 jobs, maybe 16, 17-hour days, lifesaver. Even if you just have a 9 to 5, meal prepping is going to be your best friend. Lastly is because it helps maximize my fitness. What I mean by that is that I do all the work in the gym and I follow through with making sure that all my macros are hit through the meals that I prep. No matter what your goal is, whether it's losing body fat, gaining muscle, or even just maintaining your current weight, meal prepping is going to be for you. Alright, how to meal prep. So soon I will go over how I personally meal prep. There are a ton of ways, but I will go over what I do and show you how I meal prep. But let me be 1000% transparent, I am no chef. That is why I am actually wearing an apron with Kyle's name on it. I don't have an apron with my name on it because I'm a horrible cook. I actually grew up with a single mom that did not know how to cook. I grew up on fast food. So I did not learn how to cook until maybe 5-6 years ago. This is probably why my first career, when I first started working, was in the restaurant industry. Free food, and it's food that I don't have to cook. Duh. Another benefit about meal prepping is that it will actually help make you a better cook. If you do not know how to cook or really don't know any sort of basics about meal prepping, this video is for you. You will learn either a lot or take away new tools that will help your meal prepping. Alright, where to begin with meal prep? So I see a lot of people dive in and go on Pinterest and get all these meal prep recipes, go to the grocery store, but really they do it for 1 week. It was way too much work. They wasted so much time and money and food. This is why it's so important to make sure that you've got your macros down before you even have a grocery list. If you don't know what macros are, I do have a video that I will link below on macros, the basics of macros, and how to understand your macros. So before you head to the grocery store, making sure you are aware of how much protein, carbs, and fats that you will be eating throughout the week. So when you know your macros for the week, go ahead and go into that macro tracking app that you use, whatever your preference is. Plug in the foods that you are wanting to eat that week and then plan from there. I pretty much always keep my breakfast around egg scramble, and I also cook my dinner fresh every night. Not only to have a fresh dinner daily, but also if I messed up on my macros throughout the day, I can then manage that daily. So usually my meals that I prep are any of the meals between breakfast and dinner. So this helps me keep meal prepping very simple. Alright, planning your meals. The way that I plan my meals, again, I'm going into that macro tracking app. I know my macros. I will go ahead and go over an example. Right now, I'm currently eating 1,575 calories, which equals out to 137 grams of protein, 77 grams of carbs, and I believe 80 grams of fat. So making sure I'm plugging in all these foods and I hit my macros. I hit my protein, carbs, and fat intake. Like I said before, I generally always keep it simple for breakfast and have an egg type scramble. So plugging in 2 eggs and 2 egg whites and any cheese or veggies that I want to add in. For the meals throughout the day, I'm going to be be doing 4 ounces of chicken with 100 grams of potatoes this week. And then for dinner, I'll probably be doing like a shrimp salad or a shrimp stir fry with veggies type of a situation. But again, I don't prep dinner. I make that fresh daily. So I have plugged all that in and it looks like I'm actually negative 21 calories. If I really want to be spot on, I will go ahead and adjust that, but I'm going to leave that for right now. Now we move on to making your grocery list. So I will be eating 4 eggs a day. That's going to be 28 eggs. I will be eating 8 ounces of chicken a day. That's going to be about 3.5 pounds of chicken. Pro tip, make sure that you're always rounding up when you're buying animal source protein. Usually when you're cooking animal source protein, it actually will cook down because of the water. Lastly, 4 ounces of shrimp for dinner for whatever I'm going to make. Let's say 2 pounds of shrimp. Next is the carbs. This week's carbs, I will personally just be doing red potatoes. I love red potatoes. They provide a lower carb ratio to other complex carbs, and they pretty much go good with everything. Scrambles, meals, dinner, whatever. I love them. Usually a 5-pound bag of red potato lasts me about 4 or 5 days, so I will go ahead and get 2 bags of 5 pounds of red potatoes. Next are any add-ins and snacks. For example, I love adding in veggies, jalapenos, habaneros to my meals and my scrambles, so making sure I've got that on my grocery list. Lastly is making sure that you have everybody else in the household's meals planned out on your grocery list. For example, right now Kyle is doing keto, so I gotta make sure I'm getting lots of fatty foods for him. He does his macros, sends it to me, boom, it's on the shopping list. Also, we meal prep for our dog. Yeah, we meal prep for our dog, and this week he will be getting white rice with either ground beef or chicken breast. Alright, some tips. Before I show you how I personally meal prep, I'm going to go over 4 tips that will save you more money and more time. First, and probably most important, is buy in bulk when you can, whether that's a Costco membership or a partnership with a grocery company. Right now, Instacart, it is a grocery delivery. They actually allow you to shop at Costco without a Costco membership. I would hop on that. Just buy in bulk when you can. The second tip is going to be when you are actually doing your meal prep, make sure you begin prepping what is going to take the longest to cook. For example, I bake my chicken, so that usually takes anywhere from 45 minutes to 55 minutes. So I get that seasoned, plop that in the oven, and then I work on the second longest. This week will be my red potatoes because I also like to bake those, and I'm very fortunate enough to have a double oven. So I get my potatoes prepped and chopped and sliced and however I want them that week, and into the oven. Both of those take close to an hour to bake. While those are baking, I do everything else in the meantime. And this might seem like a no-brainer to you, but if you are anywhere near where I was when I started meal prepping, it's gonna save you so much time and an anxiety attack. The third tip is investing in tools that will help save you time. For example, we have a rice cooker. All I do with that rice cooker is rinse the rice, put the amount of water I need, and boom, it cooks for me. Done. Other things like sous vide or other kitchen tools that help, or investing in bigger pans, or other things that will help you save time in meal prepping. For example, microwave and Tupperware are musts when you are meal prepping. If you're meal prepping without both of those, you need to get on Amazon ASAP. You gotta do it. But even on the more simpler side, there are garlic peelers, there are ground beef tools. You name it, there's something out there that is going to help you cook whatever you're cooking and save time doing it. Another tip is going to be making sure that you are aware of the calories in all of the sauces and seasonings that you use. If you love to cook with a ton of butter, making sure you are counting that when you are doing your macros. Also, all of the calories in the sauces that you like to have with your meals. All of these generally have hidden calories, so making sure even before the grocery list, you have them in your macros. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and show you what I meal prep and how I personally meal prep. Like I said before, I usually start with what's going to take the longest. When I started this meal prepping, I was actually behind on meals, so I went ahead and started with ground beef so I could eat immediately. So I made about 6 pounds of ground beef. I did not have any seasoning on there. I added taco seasoning after. This makes this taco ground beef that Kyle really loves and works with his macros. And this pan that you will see is quite big. It actually will hold easy 6-7 pounds of ground beef. Again, invest in bigger pans. After the ground beef, then I moved on to what is going to take the longest, which is the chicken. I season my chicken, which I keep it very basic. I cook with very basic seasonings because I don't really have to track what I put in them. So I seasoned all my chicken with olive oil, salt, and pepper, both sides, and then I plopped it into the oven at 350 degrees. I bake my chicken for anywhere between 45 and 55 minutes, making sure that the food thermometer ends up being about 160 when it comes out, anywhere from 160 to 165. You need it to hit 165 to be fully cooked. I am anywhere about 160 because it will continue to cook after I pull the chicken out. After that, I began my potatoes. I personally don't peel my red potatoes. I leave the skin on, but I do go ahead and go over all my potatoes and eliminate any funky stuff that I don't want in my potatoes that don't taste good. So I go ahead and chop up my red potatoes, put them in a bowl. I mix it with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Again, very basic. I put my potatoes in the oven anywhere from 350 to 400 and bake anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. Pull out the potatoes when they are a good texture that you want. Next is veggies. I personally love to add a ton of peppers to my scrambles and other meals. Also jalapenos and habaneros into my meals and breakfasts. So making sure that I am rinsing my veggies, slicing them, and then chopping them and making sure I put them in their own individual containers. Next on my radar is guac. I am making a homemade guac. Usually homemade guac is not the most meal prep friendly food item that you will have, but as long as you have some limes, you will be able to make guac last a couple of days. And again, I did not meal prep my shrimp because I do not prep my dinner. I go ahead and make that fresh every day. Another thing that I did not go over were these banana bread, chocolate chip, no added sugar little snacks that I have. I usually have these snacks available when I'm low on time and just want to get something into my system that are macro friendly. And if you are interested in other meal prep options or macro friendly snacks, leave a comment below and I'm sure that I can provide some sort of insight. All right, I hope this meal prep video provided some sort of tip or trick or insight for meal prepping that you can use. Again, meal prepping is crucial. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already. I do release new videos on Fridays at 9 a.m. So I will catch you guys next time.